everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a Thanksgiving book tag, and it was originally created by a sassy book geek, and I just thought I would give it a go myself. The Thanksgiving book tag is where you correlate books you've read to Thanksgiving food. First up we have bread, and that is what book is purely fluff and no real plot line? What's all fluff and no substance? And that would definitely have to be My Fine Fellow. It's funny that it also correlates and has to do with food itself, but as an entirety, this book is just all fluff. It's so pretentious. I just can't relate to it whatsoever. Obviously, it has a real plot line, but I think the purpose of it was just to be a gender-bent take on My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn. It kind of bothers me a little bit because I really like cooking and I love baking, and I thought that I could find some kind of thing to relate to in this story. There's also two other books that I would categorize as bread. One of them is an ebook called The Silence That Binds Us by Joanna Ho, and Light on Bone is an audiobook by Catherine Lasky. I just got lost in all of the filler. The next one is Turkey. What book made you want to fall asleep the most? And as much as I really wanted to love this book, Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore is definitely Turkey for me. It had no real action. It didn't really spark anything inside of me. I just think that it was one of the most normal stories I could have ever read, and it was boring to me. And the next food that we have is gravy. What book series makes it all worth reading? And for me, I think that you might have known that this was coming because I'm not really into a whole bunch of series. I like standalone books more than anything, but I would definitely say that Shady Hollow, I still have to get the other two books, but as a series, as an entirety, I think that Shady Hollow is going to be worth every single word that you read in here. And also another one, well, this is another series. It's a graphic novel, but still it's a book. It's called The Ice Cream Man. And I read the deluxe volume edition, which included every volume in it, 1, 2, 3, and I think there's 4. The Ice Cream Man is like a super cosmic horror metaphor for things that are going on in life. And so each kind of aspect that you can struggle with in life is represented by a massive fear. It's been personified into something humongous and terrifying. And I thought the Ice Cream Man was fresh and it was invigorating. The next one is stuffing. Which book is stuffed full of action? Lately, I read a book that was kind of action-y, and it was The Thursday Murder Club, The Man Who Died Twice. I thought it always had something jumping up to keep your attention. There was action in it, and it had kind of like I wouldn't call it necessarily action though, I would say it's like a cozy mystery. Next up is mashed potatoes. What looked good and then wasn't? As we can all figure, you knew I was going to put From Blood and Ash in the mashed potato category. I almost wanted to put From Blood and Ash in the bread category, but it actually did have a storyline. It had a real plot line with stakes, and I mean, it had every point that a story needs to hit in order to be a story, but it just was poorly executed, and I definitely think that it just looked good on the surface. It looked good to everybody, especially on TikTok and Instagram. There's such a divided audience with From Blood and Ash and that entire trilogy altogether, just because some people can look past all the just absolutely ridiculous plots that are in it and they like it, but some people like myself, I cannot, absolutely will never read a book like that again. The last one, I really am kind of upset that I don't like that much. The Christie Affair. I'm about a quarter of the way through it, and I can't believe that I trusted myself to get this book because on the surface, it looked so good. 1920s and vintage. I didn't know anything about Agatha Christie. I just knew that she was a mystery author and that she disappeared for 10 days in the 1920s. This book is someone's fabricated account on what happened to Agatha Christie. We're reading it through the eyes of the woman that Agatha Christie's husband was cheating on her with and divorced her and then married her. And who thought that it would be a good idea to tell us this story through the eyes of the mistress? And she doesn't feel bad for it. There's no remorse. She's doing it just to do it. I just can't get with it. I can't get with that. I thought it would be a lot different. There is no actual character arc that could happen to this person that would make me like them. The next category is Cranberries, which is what has the sweetest romance? Anatomy had the best romance because I wouldn't call it the sweetest, but it was the most endearing, dangerous, and thrilling and suspenseful romance because it's about a medical student and a resurrectionist. A resurrectionist is someone that goes into a grave and digs up the body and the jewels and all that. Most of these other books do have some kind of romance in them, but I just believe that this one was the most exhilarating and it just made the most sense. And the consequences and the stakes they were all pretty palpable. The next category we have is corn. What is the corniest book you've ever read? And for that one, I picked Over What Hill because yes, it is very slice of lifey. It's about a retirement home and it's just kind of like she's journaling down her days, and anything exciting or surprising, anything new that pops up in her day, she just goes and writes it down. We follow along with her trying to publish a book and getting the deal and just living with ordinary life as well as trying to accomplish her goals at 83. It's exactly like if you just sit down with an elderly person and you just listen to them tell you about all the jokes and the fun things and the sad things, the nuances in life. I wouldn't say that this book is corny. I would say it's neutrally sweet and funny at the same time, but not corny. The next category that we have is green beans, and it is what book is way too long and could definitely be shortened. That just has to go to the Night Circus. I just got bored insanely quick and it just jumps around so much. If you happen to love this book, I'm sorry. And I really thought that I would like it too. It's late 1800s. I thought it would give me a total Moulin Rouge vibe, which Erin Morgenstern did do, but I think I said it in my last video, there's just way too much bouncing around. Maybe next year I'll try and pick it up again. And the last category that we have is pumpkin pie. What book / kind of books do you read to get out of a reading slump? I really like short one-day reads. I just want something simple. Books like Flight 116 is Down. I call it cozy because it's a short one-day read and you can just snuggle up and be done in a few hours. Hatching Magic because it's adorable. It's so playful and wholesome actually. It has really uplifting character relationships and it has a happy ending. The series of unfortunate events, you can read them as a standalone and you can read them as an adult. I don't know who doesn't like them actually. I feel like a lot of the times whenever I do get in a reading slump, it's because I'm feeling even just the smallest amount of gratification and reward I can give myself for reading these. It helps so much to get me out of that slump and ready for my next novel. I think that The Story Life of A.J. Fikry is possibly the best slice of life book that you could want to read. It really does have a way of bringing a lot of optimism, helps you to be mindful and appreciate what is going on in your life now that is good. With that said, I don't think that I have any more books to categorize. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.